Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena Ray and today we've got a big batch cooking day. We're gonna do a whole lot of freezer meals, breakfast and dinner. If you want to eat it for lunch, that's cool too. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our chicken marinades. I've got 3 freezer bags here and 2 packs of chicken. I'm only gonna start with 3. We're gonna do a teriyaki chicken, lemon chicken, and we'll just leave the other ones plain. But I want to get them out of that package into some bags. So let's get them cut up. They have chicken breasts on sale for $1.99 a pound, so I picked some of those up. Here's an overview of everything we're going to be using. I've got my chicken breast, I've got my Italian sausage, some pork sausage, and then some ground beef. I've got these containers to put our freezer meals in. I've got an 18 pack of eggs, and then I think there's like 6 eggs in here. I've got some freezer bags, mixing bowl, our English muffins for our breakfast sandwiches, and some plain breadcrumbs. And I still need to get all of the things for the chicken marinade. Actually, I decided to go ahead and, before we get started on that, let's go ahead and get our meat cooked for lasagna. So I'm just using the same bowl that I made that chicken stock in, if you watched my last video. And this is just some 80/20 ground beef. And I like to package it in these 1 pound ziplock bags. So I'm doing a pound of ground beef, and then half a pound of this mild Italian sausage. We're just gonna get that browned up. And while that's cooking, we'll start on our other stuff. We're gonna need some garlic. We're gonna need our lemon juice. What else out of here? And I think that's it out of here. Oh, cheese. Okay, we've got our garlic, we've got our cheese, we got our lemon juice. Let's get this meat browning. I'm just trying to break up the meat. I think with this lasagna, we're gonna do a bechamel sauce because I don't have any ricotta. So let's cut up our chicken. And I like to use gloves. I don't want to touch raw chicken, but obviously you don't have to. And you might be wondering, what's the purpose of freezer meals? I don't like freezer meals, they get mushy. The key to your freezer meals turning out good is, first of all, seasoning them well, making food that you actually like, and letting them thaw overnight in the refrigerator. Cooking them from frozen is just, you can, but I think you're gonna get a better product and you're actually gonna be happy with what you've made if you cook it after it's been thawed overnight. So I'm just cutting these chicken breasts in half because they're pretty big. Our ground beef and sausage is cooking up nicely. And another thing with freezer meals is I found for like your beef products, or at least ground beef, it turns out better if you cook it. It's like we're gonna be making some meatballs today and we're gonna end up cooking those. And another tip for freezer meals is to, before you put them in the freezer, so to avoid any type of freezer burn or anything like that, you need to put them in the fridge overnight and then stick them in the freezer. Let's season our meat. This hand is free from or maybe it's not. Some paprika. But we do have that Italian sausage in here, which has quite the seasonings in it. So I'll just season it with some paprika and adobo. And this has salt in it, so I don't want to go overboard with it. And I'm not cooking the ground beef 100%. There's still a tiny bit of pink in there. But now that the ground beef is pretty much seasoned, I'm gonna get a jar. And I'm just using this one from Trader Joe's. Make my life a whole lot easier. I don't want to make it from scratch. I'm just gonna pour that into our meat here. And you can drain the grease, but it's not enough for me to worry about. Loved Italian, so she cooked it a lot when we were growing up. Basically all my siblings like Italian except me. It's pretty saucy as is. But that looks good. So I'm gonna put the cover on that and let this simmer. Turn it down to about low. Put the lid on and let it rest and cook. And what I'm gonna do before I put these in the bags, I'm gonna go ahead and label them now. So we're doing lemon chicken and put the date on it as well. What is today? Today is April 7th. So 4/7/23. So there's one for our lemon chicken, one for our teriyaki chicken. I'm gonna open up these bags so it's easy to get into them and so we don't gunk them up. So I just like to fold them over so that nothing gets on the outside of the bag and all the gross stuff stays inside. And I gotta get some olive oil. I just like this olive oil from Trader Joe's. I'm almost out, but I do have another one that I got from Whole Foods. So I'll just put a tiny bit in the bag, maybe a tablespoon. And let's put our chicken in. Okay. And the trick to making this efficient is cleaning as you go. Makeup. Okay, so which one is this? This is our lemon chicken. So I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil. Maybe about another tablespoon. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of garlic. And I've just got some garlic that I chopped myself into some olive oil, so we've got fresh garlic. And then I'll put some garlic in the teriyaki as well. And whatever this one's gonna be, I'm not sure yet, but whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna need some garlic regardless. I love garlic, so I always put quite a bit. And then for the lemon chicken, I'm just gonna use some bottled lemon juice. And you can get those things that hold your bags up, but I'm not doing that. Put a little dash of lemon juice in our teriyaki chicken as well, maybe half a tablespoon. What really makes this lemon chicken good is Worcestershire sauce. So I put maybe a 1/4 cup. And then I'm gonna do some Greek seasoning in there as well. This is from Penzeys. If you guys have watched any of my other freezer cooking videos, you'll know that I love Penzeys. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. So Greek seasoning, and I'll probably do about a teaspoon of that. And then 1/2 teaspoon of this tarragon. And a pinch of brown sugar. That always makes things good. And while I've got the brown sugar out, I might as well put it in our teriyaki chicken. And I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm probably gonna do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into our teriyaki marinade. And I'm gonna add some onion powder to both of those. And our mystery meat over here. And a little garlic powder. And our lemon chicken is done. Mix it on up. Mix everything up. And this might be my favorite chicken marinade. I love to grill it up and then use it on like salads. It's so good. And I like to freeze mine flat because they take up less space. So on to our teriyaki chicken. We've already got garlic in there, onion powder, garlic powder, brown sugar, and now we're gonna use some soy sauce. About 1/8 of a cup of soy sauce. And that's it. Super easy, super simple. And here's our teriyaki chicken. I just like to mix it, make sure everything gets all incorporated. Ooh, I know, I'm gonna do honey mustard chicken with this. I did bring out this mustard powder again, Penzeys. So I'll probably do, what's this? 1/2 teaspoon. Of that. Okay, so I've got honey and I've got some Dijon mustard, whole grain from Trader Joe's. I'll probably do a tablespoon of the honey or the ground, or no, it's whole grain mustard. There we go. Good, good, good. And then maybe 2 tablespoons of honey. 1, 2. Garlic powder and onion powder. And just like that, you've got 3 freezer meals. But just like that, you have 3 freezer meals ready to go. You just want to take these out the night before, grill them up, sear them, put them in the oven, crock pot, whatever you want. They can be dump and go as well. I usually pre-chop all of my veggies, and these are pre-chopped, but I want to chop them up a little tiny bit finer. And so that I can put them in my meatballs. I don't want huge chunks of onion. And I diced them up about that fine. And then I've got our mixing bowl, and I'm gonna do 2 pounds of ground beef. And to that sausage, we're gonna add our onions. And we're gonna add some garlic. I've got a recipe here. I don't typically make meatballs. I'm gonna do a heaping half of a tablespoon. And then some breadcrumb. Probably about a little more than a 1/4 cup. Some garlic powder, some onion powder, and what else? Some pepper. And before we get to mixing this, let's go check on our meat sauce. That is pretty hot. Oh yeah, that's done. It smells really good. And here we have 1 pound of ground beef, 80/20, and 1/2 pound of mild Italian sausage. I'm gonna add some dried parsley and a little bit of crushed red peppers. Maybe about a teaspoon. And let's get mixing. Oh, we need an egg. Duh. That was a big egg. Oh, they're extra large. Okay. And I have these containers that I'm gonna put everything in. They're just 8x8 aluminum foil pan. Okay, so we've got all of our meat all mixed up together. It smells so good. And we're gonna just ball them up and put them in this pan. I'm gonna do pretty good size meatballs. I'm gonna be able to get 2 pans out of this, so that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 freezer meals. And it's only been, what, 45 minutes, if that? That's hard to do, or is gonna take up all your time. Now, when I first started doing freezer meals, it kind of did take up a lot of my time because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know how to use my time wisely, be efficient. And I think I'm gonna do a honey harissa meatball with one of these, and then a sweet and sour meatball with the other. Okay, now for this one, we're doing the harissa meatballs, and I've just got this harissa from Trader Joe's. And this is really spicy, so I don't want to do a lot. But I'm gonna put in some of that, and I'm gonna do a little bit more seasoning. I'm gonna be using this Ajika seasoning from Trader Joe's as well, and it's like really smoky and good. So I'm gonna do probably about this much. Or you know what, I'm not gonna put it in the meatballs. I'm gonna use that for the sauce. Yeah, but I will put some of this seasoning in the meatball mixture, because it's really good and smoky, and it's gonna just add a lot of flavor. I'm gonna try and get this glove on. Okay. I'm gonna try and do these ones a little bit smaller. Maybe about half the size. Just so that I can fit a few more in the pan. Yeah, that looks about good. And after I form these, I'm gonna take you guys over to, those are still a little big. I'm gonna take you guys over the stove so that we can make the sauces. I meant you better tie it.
Okay, dude. Never come through.
You better tie it.
Yeah. I parked the car.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut up some Gruyere. I'm gonna put it in our cheese sauce. I'm not gonna do too much, but just a bit. This cheese sauce is for our lasagna. And my sister doesn't like Parmesan, so I'll do Gruyere. And you could probably buy this shredded, but I like to shred my own cheese because it melts a little bit better. And we're just making our roux in this pot, so we're trying to melt our butter. And in this melted butter, I am going to put some garlic, some of our freshly chopped garlic. I just do, I chop my own garlic and then just keep it in a container in the fridge with a little bit of olive oil. I like it better like this than buying the pre-diced stuff or what do they call that? Grated? I don't know. And obviously I still buy that sometimes when I don't feel like doing it myself, but the flavor is just 110 times better when you do it yourself, like with most things. And I've got our meatballs cooking in the oven, and after we make this white sauce, we'll go ahead and make our sauce for our meatballs. And we're gonna do a sweet and sour sauce and a honey harissa sauce. And harissa is like a Middle Eastern, North African spice. Yeah, and I love it. I'll turn this up a little bit because I want to fry the garlic some. Our garlic is frying and we don't want it to burn. Just going to turn it down just a tad and add in our flour. And the flour is just to thicken up our bechamel. And now we're trying to cook that flour, the taste of the flour out. So this is basically a roux, and I don't want it to get too dark, so I want to turn it down. And I would use our home canned chicken stock that we made yesterday, but I still have some chicken broth in the fridge that I want to use up. I'm just using some chicken broth from Whole Foods. And now we're going to add in some milk. Just a touch. And then I'm going to do this shelf-stable whipping cream from Trader Joe's. Not the whole thing, obviously. I never used this before, but my sister swears by it. And then I saw Becky use it, and I was like, okay. I'll try it. Oh, shoot. Disaster. It's okay. You can easily wipe this up. No big deal. And after I get this mixed in, and I think I'm going to switch to a whisk, just so I can break this up. But I'm going to get some more of this. Okay, so I took a short intermission to clean up a little. It was looking a little crazy. I like to clean as I go. But our sauce, our bechamel is thickened up a lot. But I tasted it, and I think I'm going to add a little bit more cheese. I'm going to add a little bit more of this quesadilla. rest of this Gruyere. Okay, so now we're working on our well, gotta stir this up first. This is our bechamel sauce and it is done. So let's turn that off. Or actually, we'll keep this one on, turn that one off, and pull this to the front. But I did find my nutmeg, so I was able to put that in there. Now to this, we're gonna add some honey. Maybe 1/4 cup, no, that was about 1/8 of a cup, if that. I'm gonna rinse off my spoon that I used, or my whisk that I used for our bechamel sauce. Mix that in. It smells so good, but it's very spicy, I can already tell. Now I'm gonna add in some chicken stock. That was probably 1/8 of a cup of chicken stock. Let's grab a spoon so we can give this a taste test. I just have a plastic spoon here. It's so good. Mmm, yummy. But, ooh, it's got a kick. It needs some salt. Some pepper. And then I'll do some garlic powder and some onion powder. Give that a little mix. Bomb. That is really, really good, but it needs a little zing, so I'm gonna add some rice vinegar to it. Just a splash, because it needs a little bit of dimension. That was probably a teaspoon of rice vinegar. Let's give that a taste. That was exactly what it needed. I'm gonna turn that to medium, let it thicken up. I'm gonna add a cornstarch slurry though. So I just have some cornstarch here. 1-to-1 ratio of cornstarch to whatever liquid you're using. And then we'll leave that there on the heat and it will start to thicken. Let's check on our meatballs. Ooh, they look great. They look really good. Don't think they're done yet. I'll give them about 12 more minutes. I set a timer on my phone. So we're working on our sauce for our sweet and sour meatballs now, and it says we need a cup of brown sugar, but since I'm doing kind of a half batch, I'm not gonna do that much brown sugar. I want some of your brown sugar, sugar. What is this? 1/3 cup? That's a bit too much. I'm gonna do about a half a cup of brown sugar. 1/2 cup of vinegar, white vinegar. A 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So that would be like 1/8 cup. Of soy sauce. A teaspoon of sriracha, but I'm gonna add buffalo. Three tablespoons of flour, a cup of Jeez, can I not get this ketchup open? There we go. Did about a tablespoon of ketchup. And then it also says, turn that heat off, it says to do this. It says to do this before you turn the heat on, so I just wanted to take this off the heat. And let's give this a little taste, Very ketchup-y. And I don't like that, so I'm gonna add some more brown sugar. Maybe a tablespoon. And then a squeeze of honey. Because it was very heavy on the vinegar, which I wasn't really a fan of. I want it to be a little sour, but not overwhelming. And then some garlic as well, because garlic is always good. I'm not gonna do very much, maybe 1/2 of a teaspoon. That's a lot better. Ooh, that's good. Okay, now it says to add flour, but I'm gonna do a cornstarch slurry because I already have some right here. Our meatballs look beautiful. Because of the pork that's in there, they obviously let out a lot of grease, but I'll empty that out before I pour the sauces on. Now we're working on our lasagna. And I just have these oven ready lasagna noodles, but I feel like I heard somewhere that you don't even have to use the oven ready ones. You can just use regular lasagna noodles and it works the same. So let's see, how much of this do I need to cut? About, is that good? Yep. Okay, and I'm gonna do a layer of red sauce or meat sauce. And then another layer of red, but not that much this time. And then our white sauce. And I'm gonna just try and pour the white sauce.
Wild Chinese. Breaking them, I guess I should say. And then another layer of red. Don't be as crazy. Breaking these as I am. Taking a baby on a walk. And let's do some meat. And some red.
Make a small thing of lasagna. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I think this is probably too big for it. It'll just be a really... Okay, and for our last meal, we're doing some breakfast sandwiches. So I have some brioche style English muffins here that I'm gonna get toasted up in the oven. So this is 6 English muffins, and in here I just have some melted butter and honey mustard. I saw. Okay. Now let's put these in the oven and then we'll shape our patties and do our eggs. I've only got one glove. Grab another. Let's get our patty shaped. I have a pound of pork sausage. Here. Oops. And we're just gonna make this into 6 patties.
Now roll them into a ball. And typically I use maple sausage, but I didn't have any, so I'm using what we got. We'll roll them into a ball first. And then when we go over to cook them, I'll flatten it out like we're doing smash burgers. Perfect. They're not all equal size, but that's okay. Take off one glove.
While we're over here waiting for the stove to heat up, let's go ahead and pour our sauce over our meatballs. This is the sweet and sour sauce. And I went ahead and drained off the fat that was in there. Not all of it, but because we don't want them to be dry, but quite a bit of it. So that was our sweet and sour one. And this is our harissa. I want to use parchment paper so that I could flatten out these patties. And I just like to rip a piece of square like that, grab a patty, set it down just like you would a regular burger, and smash it. And keep your spatula on there for a second because it'll want to shrink the patty. And there we go, just like that. So I filled up the dishwasher with as many dishes as I could, and now we're gonna work on our eggs for our English muffins. You can see our sausage is still over there cooking. Put it in a bowl. And I'm gonna do scrambled, but you can do your eggs however you'd like. If you want over easy. I personally want mine scrambled. So that was 5 eggs. I'm gonna do 6. Good thing I have backup. I got these from Costco. They were $7.99. And just the month before when I had got them, they were 6 something, so there's that. Inflation is a you-know-what. This sausage over here is done. I'm gonna turn the oven on because I'm gonna bake my eggs in the oven. 350. Let's finish whisking these. And I do like to season my eggs. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit of garlic powder. Not overly seasoned though. A tiny bit of onion powder.
I usually put milk in my eggs, but I'm not going to today. I'm not filling these up all the way either. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now there's still some egg left in there, so let's top these off. The oven's preheated.
I don't want them to be too big, so that's all I'll put. I'll cook that for myself. Let's put this in the oven. They're done, but they're very hot, so I'll probably burn myself if I try to take them out of here. I just stuck some bacon in the oven to cook that, and that'll be our last thing to put on these breakfast sandwiches. I'm just cooking up the last 2 patties. These are some pretty big ones, so they're taking a little bit longer to cook. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and put our eggs on our breakfast sandwiches. They are literally the perfect size. Yay! I'll link this thing down below. I got it on Amazon. How perfect. Now we just need to put our bacon. I figured while I'm sitting here waiting for that bacon to finish cooking in the oven so that I could finish my sandwiches, I might as well do one more meal and optimize my time, right? So I have some croissants from Costco. I have about 1, 2, 3, I have 4 croissants from Costco. I'm gonna do a little breakfast casserole. I'm gonna do 1 more egg in there. So 5 eggs. Let's cut up some chives. And I always like to wrap my herbs in paper towel to soak up any moisture. They last longer like that. So I'll just grab a handful and start snipping. And then we can put some of this sausage. I always have frozen sausage or cooked sausage in the freezer. Let's do a little more. Let's add our cheese. This is just, again, the quesadilla cheese. I'm adding a good handful of cheese in there. And let's shred up some of our cheddar cheese. This is a mild cheddar. Probably do, ooh, that's a lot. That's enough. That all whisked in. If you didn't have chives, you could do green onions. I don't have green onions, or I would put them in there because I love green onions. Now let's clean up before we get to assembling. Okay, so we're putting our, or we're ripping up these croissants and just putting them in here. Garlic powder and onion powder, and then salt and pepper. There's our salt. There's our onion. And there's our garlic. And actually I'm gonna put some actual onion in there too. This is diced up how I like it, so I'll just use the frozen kind. Not too many, that's enough. So I'm just gonna stir it up. Make sure that all that sausage and onion isn't just sitting at the bottom. There we go. And that's it for our savory French toast. Bacon would have been good in there too. Just gonna break a whole piece in half and put it on there. We are done with all of our breakfast freezer meals. I am ecstatic. Zoom up a little bit. I do not need to be that close, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I will leave all the recipes down below. This was so easy. It took literally 3 hours to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To get 9 freezer meals done. That's amazing. And we're gonna cook one of those for dinner tonight. Probably the lasagna that wasn't quite full. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.